Greetings, everybody. Nina the Mystic here, and welcome to this episode of SINDAY Live. Tonight, we are going to be discussing the Church of Satan versus the Temple of Satan versus different other things out there. The reason being that I chose this topic is because a lot of people, a lot of you who are watching are kind of assuming that I'm a Satanist, okay? Now, I just want to be able to let you guys know what I think about the Church of Satan, about Satanism, my understanding of it, and also, how I feel about it and what I'm doing. Okay, little glimpse, a little education, hopefully, right? So sit back and enjoy. If you guys are new, welcome. Make sure that you are subscribed. Hit that bell for notification because you just never know when the next video is uploaded. Honestly, I do go live every Wednesday and Sunday, but you never know. I might go live on different days, on different channels. So stay tuned. Check out the description of the video for all my links. Okay, go there and check all that out. And if you don't mind following me and all that good stuff. Okay, guys? So let's just dive right into it. So first of all, I do not consider myself a Satanist. Okay, I don't. I don't know. I just don't. Okay. Now, what is a Satanist exactly? Are those the people who are members and are following like the Church of Satan, the Temple of Satan, Temple of Seth? Is that what a Satanist is? Or are you referring to me as a Satanist because that's what you call bad people? You know what I mean? Like, I know that in the news, like a lot of people are waking up to what's going on in the world, right? And yes, there is definitely something, evil going on, if you will. Okay. Um, there is something that is against humanity. Okay. Now, is that Satan? No. I'm going to give you that answer right now. No, it is not Satan. However, there might be some people who refer to it as Satan, right? And but it's not Satan. Okay. Now, I'm going to go through, I got some stuff to share. We're going to go through the different things. What is the difference between the Church of Satan and the Satanic Temple? And then the Temple of Seth. What is the difference? Let's go through that first to educate ourselves a little bit about what those things are and what they're all about. And then I will go into more how I feel about it. Okay, so bear with me here, guys. And again, warning, this is definitely adult content. If you got children in the room, you might want to turn it off and watch it when you do have the time on your own. Okay, so a little warning there. So let's just go right into it here and share a little bit here. So I'm gonna get in here. Where are we here? There we are. Church of Satan. Now, this, I'm going to read right from their website. I guess this must be the guy that's in charge now. But as it says here, welcome to the official website of the Church of Satan. So it was founded on April 30th, 1966 by Anton Sander LaVey. And I'm just going to read right. It says here, we are the first above ground organization in history openly dedicated to the acceptance of man's true nature, that of a carnal beast, okay? Living in a cosmos that is indifferent to our existence. To us, Satan is the symbol that best suits the nature of we who are carnal by birth. People who feel no battles raging between our thoughts and feelings. We who do not embrace the concept of soul imprisoning in a body. He represents pride, liberty, and individualism, qualities often defined as evil by those who worship external deities, who feel there is a war between their minds and emotions. As Anton LaVey explained in his classic work, The Satanic Bible, man, using his brain, invented all the gods. Okay, so keep close attention to what I'm about to say here, okay? Doing so because many of our species cannot accept or control their personal egos, feelings, compelling to conjure up one or multiplicity of characters who can act without hindrance or guilt upon whims and desires. All gods are thus externalizing forms, magnifying projections of the true nature of their creators, personifying aspects of the universe or personal temperance, which many other followers find to be troubling. Worshipping any god is thus worshipping by proxy those who invented that god. Since the Satanists understand that all gods are fiction, instead of bending a knee in worship to or seeking friendship or unity with such mythical entities, he placed himself at the center of his own subject, universe, and his own higher value. We Satanists are thus our own gods, and as benefit deities, we can offer love to those who deserve it and deliver our wrath within reasonable limits upon those who seek to cause us or that which we cherish harm. And then it goes on there. Okay, so basically, the Church of Satan and the Levian Satanism, okay, does not believe in Satan. Okay, they don't believe in any gods outside of themselves. We're all gods, right? Essentially, I think they can kind of grasp that notion, that we are our own god, and that's kind of what they said here, which is true. That is very much true, but they do not believe in an entity named Satan. They don't believe in any entities at all. So essentially, what they are is an atheist. That's what they are. Okay, now. And I have to agree with this because Satan is actually not a being. It was a misunderstanding in the Bible. I do believe in the book of Enoch, it was mentioned in plural, as in Satans. We all have Satans in our lives. Those are our adversary. That's what Satan means. Directly translated is an adversary. Okay, we all have them, big or small, right, in our lives, and that's where that name comes from. So they don't even believe in a being named Satan. However, I got to throw this in here before I even go any further, because so many people have put their energy towards it, been praying to it, been fearful of it. It has now become something, right? An egregore, a thought form. It is definitely something there. I'm not dismissing that people today aren't in touch with a being named Satan. And as we get further along, we're going to see maybe who this Satan has or is actually. So just bear with me with that, okay? So, however, Anton LaVey, from my understanding, so keep in mind, this is my understanding. If you have something else to add, please use the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you have to say, okay, to maybe fill in some gaps that I've missed here, okay. Anton LaVey was a showman, okay. He used to play the organ. I do believe he used to sit in church and play in church as well. It was one of the jokes that he had. He would play for the congregation on Sunday morning, right? And then he would play for them again when they would show up to the burlesque kind of shows that he was also playing in on a different day. That's kind of Christianity in a nutshell. Sunday Christians, they're Christian on Sundays, but the rest of the week they're doing whatever they want. And so he noticed that. And that's what kind of brought him to the idea of, hey, you know what? Most people have these carnal urges. We all do, actually. It's just some people try to suppress them, try to ignore it. And, well, we can see how the world has turned out by doing that, right? So I do agree that, we should embrace our carnal desires. They're there for a reason. Why not enjoy it? As long as you're not hurting anyone. And I have to say that is big in their Bible, in their teachings. Do what they will, but not by hurting other people. Okay, they're actually very gentle people. Just have to say that. So he's a showman. Okay, he musician. He likes putting on a show, and that's kind of what he did, and what this whole church. So like it or love it or hate it, right? Some people love that, some people hate it, right? So he puts on, or put on, I guess, I don't know what they're doing nowadays, but from the original kind of how it was, he would, do rituals. And that's the thing, like, he didn't believe in Satan, but he did do some rituals down in the basement. Again, he loved to put on a show. A lot of the Hollywood elites would come, and it's something cool, it's something new, right? They would have like a naked lady as an altar, and all that kind of. Again, it's a show. Okay, it's something cool, it's something fun, it's something new, and edgy. Okay, everybody wants to be edgy. Everybody wants to rebel. Not everybody. Okay, I'm speaking maybe for myself here, but especially for those of us who came out of Christianity, we just want to rebel. And what are we going to do? We're going to go right to the opposite, so call it Satanism, call it Satan, call it whatever you want. But essentially, it's a big, huge show, okay, for edgy people who want it to be cool. Is kind of what it was. Okay, now you can go into their thing here. You can learn all about, what they were doing. And I guess I could read a little bit more history of the Church of Satan, okay? The Church of Satan was created by our late high priest, Magus Anton Sander LaVey, on Walpurgis Night, 1966. Okay, he declared 1966 as year one. Anno Santanas, since that date, the Church of Satan and Anton LaVey have become household names, at times through misinformed and outright liberalist claims. You got to excuse some of the words I just can't pronounce. I am ESL, and so just bear with me, people. But often through respect and admiration from those who have come to admire his relational philosophy. Our member campaign personal development and rejection of herd conformity, and thus each Satanist found his own unique path and self-deification. Now, I agree with that. I'm all about that, not conforming to society. And I think a lot of people nowadays who are waking up since the Rona, since 20, right, have been waking up realizing that, wait a minute, the herd, the government, the rules, the regulations that are set in place here today in this on this planet is not for my highest and best. Go figure. And but these people kind of knew that all along. Okay, so they've been kind of on their own path. Since 66, and obviously since a lot before that, obviously, right? There was a lot of this going on underground, but so that end of it, okay, I thoroughly agree with. Okay, so they have a lot of information in here. I'm not going to read all of it. Okay, a little bit maybe. Our history is one of pride, originality, and strength. Learn the truth and understand why it may be more diabolical than you thought. There you go. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these people here. You can read for yourself. But that's kind of what the Church of Satan was all about. Now, I do believe they're still going on. As you can see, their website is definitely in full form here. And so what Anton did, though, is that I guess when he started it, there wasn't a lot of money in it. Right? A guy needs to pay his bills, right? So, and he is a showman. He liked to put on a show. Well, he thought, well, how can I also make some money? So he started with memberships, okay? Giving out membership card, the little red membership card. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it or maybe seen them or even have them, right? And started making money on that. I don't know what else he was doing. He's probably putting on shows at home, doing rituals in his basement with the naked ladies, and like kind of didn't believe in Satan, didn't really take that part serious, and it was more into the showmanship. Okay, that's my understanding of the LaVeyan Satanism. Okay, so what happened there, and I guess I got to go into a little bit here, is that he had, of course, he has a daughter named Xena, who became a high priestess. She married a guy named Shrek. Okay, so her name is Shrek now instead of LaVey. The two of them, along with Michael Aquino. Okay, Michael Aquino came into the picture, started up with the church. I'm assuming he was also a high priestess. or priest, I guess, and was in there. And then something happened there. The three of them left LaVey. They had falling out. From what I understand, Aquino, Xena, and Shrek. What's his first name now? I've even spoken to him. Not Nicholas Shrek. I have chatted with him once. They thought that Anton wasn't doing it. It wasn't serious enough for them. They believed in an actual being that they were worshiping and that they were working with, and Anton just wasn't taking that part of it serious enough. So that's why they broke off. I believe in the mid 70s. We're going to go into more of that, what they did in a bit, but that's what kind of happened there. So that's the Church of Satan. Okay, that was established in 66 by the LaVey family. Then, I guess I've got to go in here and switch. We're going to switch it up. And then this came along. Now, this is very new. Okay, these guys started, let's see, I'm going to read that here. Let's see here. The Satanic Temple. Okay, so that's completely separate from the church. Okay, has become the primary religious satanic organization in the world, with congregations internationally and a number of high-profile public campaigns designed to preserve and advance secularism and individual liberties. The rise of the Satanic Temple has been met with an increase in commentary regarding what Satanism is as a media outlet, struggle to grasp how the upstart religion has begun to shift religious liberty debates where mere claims of equal access. With unfortunate regularity, the Satanic Temple is confused with the earlier organization, the Church of Satan, founded by Alexander LaVey in the 60s, to the apparent jargons of both. The Church of Satan expresses vehement opposition to the campaign and activities of the Satanic Temple. So that's nice to know too, that they're actually opposed to each other. Okay, asserting themselves as the only true arbiters of Satanism, while the Satanic Temple dismisses the Church of Satan as irrelevant and inactive. Now, I don't know if they are inactive or not. I know clearly their website is still up. I wouldn't be surprised that you can still pay for a membership. What you're going to get there, I don't know. That is definitely on your own thing. But before I went in here, let's see. So they have services as well. You can buy things, whatever. Okay, so they don't. Okay, so these guys are as well the same thing about not believing in Satan. Can you believe it? Satanic Church and the Satanic Temple does not believe in Satan. Okay, and so they don't pray or do anything to Satan at all. The Satanic Church does do some rituals. Okay, the Satanic Temple does not. Not only do they not do any rituals or anything for Satan, they don't believe in Satan, and they all are atheists. They do not believe in anything. Okay? So that's what these people are. They're basically a bunch of atheists who are rebellious. Okay? Kind of like, I guess, the devil then being rebellious towards God. Well, I think we can all kind of see that the God of the Bible is not the good guy. Okay, so being opposed to that is actually a good thing. So all in that, I am all for all of that. If you are against the God in the Bible, hey, I'm standing behind you as far as that goes. Okay. However, the Satanic Temple, basically, not only are they satanic atheists. Okay, they don't believe in any deities or do any rituals. They don't do anything like that. They also have a big chip on their shoulder. These are the people who are demonstrating in front of the government buildings, in front of the abortion clinics, in front of all these things, putting up statues in places. They're basically just want to, being rebels, want to demonstrate. A lot of them, I have to say, are Karens, for lack of words. A lot of them are woke feminists. All of those things, I'm not with that at all. No, I'm not with any of that stuff there. Okay. And they like to dress gothic looking. So they're kind of like edgy people, dressed kind of gothic. They're atheists, and they like to like make a spectacle in front of the public. They like to be like shock, what do they call it? Shock entertainment. Shock, I can't remember what that word is called. That's kind of what they are. Has nothing to do with Satan, has nothing to do with any spiritual stuff at all. Okay. That's what these guys are all about. Now, let's go and see what exactly are the differences here. This is a handy little reference guide here. So this is the temple and this is the church. Two different organizations, okay? But both of them don't believe in Satan. Just keep that in mind, guys, okay? So the temple was started in 2013, so very, very new to the block. And of course, the church was established in 66 on Walpurgis night, okay? So they do kind of observe and recognize the pagan dates and holidays, okay? Keep that in mind as well. Officially recognized as a tax-exempt church by the IRS. These guys were, but these guys weren't. Interesting. So that, I guess, was one mistake that LaVey did, and why he wasn't making any money. I have to put on shows, I guess. Again, educate me if I am wrong on this, okay, in the comment section down below. Taken seriously by credible religious scholars as a manifestation of modern Satanism. I guess they both got that one. Belief in actual Satan. None of them do. Believe in magic. The temple does not believe in magic, but the church does. Okay, so LaVey, he did believe in magic. He observed the pagan holidays. He did do some rituals down in his basements. And I guess he must have had spiritual beliefs and practices, versus the temple does not. Okay. Foundational texts. So here, the church only has the writings of Anton LaVey, but the temple has a vast library canon. Now, what kind of library they have, what kind of books they're reading and promoting, I don't know, since they are not spiritual. They don't believe in magic. They don't believe in any deities or gods or anything like that. So I don't know what kind of material they have. But of course, Anton has his own writings. So he's the one that wrote the Bible. You got the revised edition. You got the old one. Okay. Anton even has a book on rituals. So he was very much in touch with his spiritual side and in touch with some kind of deity, even if it wasn't Satan. I don't know who it was that he was, working with then. Who knows, right? So, but yeah. So political views. The temple is some words I just can't roll my tongue around, non-theistic movements align with liberty, equality, and rationalism. And the founder of the temple is Lucian Greaves. As a co-founder. I don't know who the other one, but Lucian is the spokesperson. He's the guy with that weird eye, and who you normally see in interviews and whatever. He's definitely the spokesperson and a co-founder of the temple. The church is just, what does it say? I can't read what that says. Philosophically, with ceremony and rituals added. Right. So he was very much into doing things. Okay. Again, I don't know who he was doing them to or for, since he doesn't believe in Satan. So, it's too bad he's not here and that he can't tell us. But fight for secularism. Yes, the temple does. The church does not. Defend reproductive rights. The temple does. The church does not. Has a physical headquarters. The temple does, the church does not. I guess the church did when Anton was around, because I do believe his house, that black house in San Francisco, was the headquarters. But I guess since he's passed, there is no longer a headquarter then. According to this, it says no, but the temple does. Has local chapters. Yes, the temple does. The church does not. Actively growing. The temple is. The church is not. Now this is according to the temple itself. So keep that in mind as well. Okay. And holds regular meetings and events. The temple does. The church does not. In the news, talking about Satanism. The temple is, and the church is. So they both are doing that. In the news for their activities, civil liberties, campaigns, litigation, public events. Temple is, church is not. Socially and politically active. The temple is, church is not. Accept donations. They both do. Membership fees. So it's free to be a member of the, oh, hang on now. They say is $0, but then when you read the fine line, oh, $25 for membership card. I see. So it's not really free then, is it? But the church apparently charges $250 for their little red membership card. Now, what exactly you get for that, I don't know. I don't think a lot, because as you can see, they're not really active. They don't hold any meetings or has a physical headquarters. So I don't know. I guess that's all you get. And this is why a lot of people kind of disregarded the church. They left the church because of the money aspect here. Okay, so they're still charging $250 for that cool little card. You know, for some people maybe that's worth it. For a lot of people it is not, right? However, the temple also charges 25. Is it 25 or is it 15? You know, I can't really see. You let me know whether that, but there is something. And I guess, to be fair, it does cost money for membership cards, and you got to send them out and all this kind of stuff. So, I mean, you know, you have to charge. You can't be going in the hole. So, you know, but that's a huge difference right there. And a lot of reason why people aren't members here anymore. Okay. The temple has a Baphomet monument. The church does not. The temple has an after-school Satan club. Church does not. Authoritarian. Temple is saying no, they do not have that, but the church does. Believes men who prefer blue cheese dressing must be homosexually inclined because the odor is reminiscent of a locker full of well-worn jock straps. Okay, so that's a little humor. Obviously, so they're slagging the church. You got to remember that these guys are the ones that's writing all of this. Okay, so, you know, a little humor there. Topic of major documentary about modern Satanism being released by Magnolia Pictures in 2019. So the temple did, the church has not. So that's something that you guys, if you're interested, go and check out their motion picture. Is that what that's what they used to call it, right? So they have an actual documentary here from 19 where Lucian is in there and a bunch of people. I don't think I've seen the whole thing. However, I've seen some interviews with him and whatever, but yeah. So it says here, on the surface, some differences between the two organizations are immediately apparent. The Church of Satan fashioned itself as an inheritor of LaVey's legacy, paradoxically claiming that philosophy of individualism, a collective achievement for which they rest upon the laurels. Aside from an active Twitter feed whereon the Church of Satan posts casually memes and commentary upon popular culture references to Satan, the Church of Satan is otherwise inactive as an organization, arguing that as individualists, it is upon the individual merit and achievements of their membership that their collective reputation should be measured. The Satanic Temple, on the other hand, is very active in public affairs. Unlike the Church of Satan, the Satanic Temple has a physical headquarters in Salem, Massachusetts, holds 2 virtual temple services each week. Wow. And numerous active congregations throughout the world. So that's kind of cool. The Church of Satan dedicates a good deal of time offering this Disparagin, I don't know what that means. Commentary against the Satanic Temple's activities on the assertion that true Satanism is apolitical, and whether or not agree with any of the positions, they object nonetheless to what they see as misappropriative of Satanism. In doing so, they failed to delineate the clear philosophical difference between the two organizations, and many people are unaware that the beliefs of the two are merely interchangeable. Perhaps due to the popularity of the Satanic Temple, one is hard-pressed to find the Church of Satan commenting on the schisms between the two organizations, instead opting to forward the notion that the Satanic Temple has merely stolen what they see as their brand as well as their beliefs. Well, if it goes with their beliefs, I guess they both don't believe in Satan. Yet they heavily brand themselves as Satanists, as the church of a being that doesn't even exist. I find that kind of humorous, actually. The following essay, okay, we're not going to do that. So you guys can go in here and, read all of this stuff about the two different organizations, essentially, right? The temple versus the church of Satan. Okay. Now, what I want to do is get into Aquino. So like I was saying earlier, Michael Aquino, and you can read up about him. He was a huge military guy. I think he was like high-ranking military official. He was also in charge of the MK Ultra programs in the military. So that part of it is a little bit disturbing because it kind of goes with some of the stuff that we're learning now. Some of us have been awake for a while, but some of you are just starting to get into some stuff. Learning about what's been happening to, Hollywood actors. And there are certain families who are doing bad things. Okay, we're going to get into that in a different video. So he was in charge of that. He was doing that. That is a little disturbing. I don't like that part of it. Yeah, I'm going to leave that there. But however, so he was in there with the Church of Satan, with Zena LaVey, who's now Shrek, and Nicholas Shrek. They all left, right? Like I told you guys, those three left, I think in 75. I think it was, but we're going to find out more. And because those three were more, they were actually into it. They wanted to be more serious, a little bit less showman, a little bit more seriousness. So they opted and left and started their own thing called Temple of Seth. Okay, now we're going to go into what that's all about and why they called it Temple of Seth. Okay, I found that very, very interesting. And so bear with me here. The Temple of Seth is an occult initiatory order founded in 75. That's right. So they started the church in 66. These guys already left and started their own thing in 75. So not very long, not very many years there, is there? 9 years, right? A new religious movement and a form of Western esotericism. The temple espouses a religion known as Sethism, whose practitioners are called Sethians. This is sometimes identified as a form of Satanism, although this term is not often embraced by Sethians and is contested by some of the academics. Okay, they don't like that word being lumped in as a Satanist because they are a Sethian. Okay, yeah. The temple was established in the United States in 75 by Michael Aquino, an American political scientist, military officer, and a high-ranking member of Anton LaVey's Church of Satan. Dissatisfied with the direction in which LaVey was taking the church. And it's because of the memberships and all of that stuff. He didn't like that. Aquino resigned and, according to his own claim, embarked on a ritual to invoke Satan. This is very interesting, okay? Who revealed to him a sacred text called the Book of Coming Forth by Night. According to Aquino, in his work with Satan, revealed his true name to be that of Seth, which has been the name used by his followers in ancient Egypt. Aquino was joined in establishing the temple by a number of other dissatisfied members of LaVey's church, as in Zena and Nicholas, and soon various Setian groups were established across the United States. I find this very interesting. This kind of goes more in line with how I see things, okay? Or how I'm starting to see things. I am not there yet. I'm just kind of scratching the surface, I think, on what's really going on. You know what I mean? Again, use the comment section down below if you disagree with me, okay? So Aquino essentially did a ritual. He was channeling Satan, okay? So he, like I said, he believed in Satan. He actually was serious about this stuff, right? And Satan told him to call him by his true name, which was Seth. Well, we all know who Seth is, right? That's the old Egyptian god. So what I think, okay, how I see it, how I'm thinking as of right now, that might change, you know, in the future here, is that I believe that there's only so many beings. Okay, we can go back to the Sumerian tablets, we can go back to the Anunnaki, okay, who I believe are actually the Elohim, but we're going to go into that in a different video. There's only so many of them. Okay, how many we don't know exactly, but there's only so many, right? And throughout the centuries, throughout the years, they have just kind of evolved, taken on different names, different roles, because, you know, as new people come, they usually tend to kind of dismiss the old, want to do something new. And so it's the same being, it's just took on a different different branding, if you will. Satan, or whatever you want to call Seth, or whatever he was called before Seth, because I believe it's probably like older than that, just changed his name. He just rebranded himself, okay? And I do believe there are beings. I do believe there are the Elohim. I do believe they're still here. We can still work with them, okay? And they have taken on different names. That's as far as I'm going to leave that. So I found this very, very interesting. The Temple of Seth is a lot more heavy duty, way more serious. It actually is hard to get in there. If you want to be a member there, you can. I do believe they have memberships and whatnot, but you have to go through a rigmarole to get in there. It's not just everybody. It's not just give you my $250 and here you go. No, you have to prove yourself, and you got to work your way up there for that. Okay, so this is like a serious thing. Okay, so that's the difference between the Satanic Church, the Satanic Temple, and the Temple of Seth. Okay. So what does that mean to me? I mean, I am not a Satanist. I am not a Sethian. Okay. I am not none of those. Okay. I don't know who it is exactly. Who is this being? However, like I said earlier, I do believe, you know, when Christianity came in and all these religions, really, all of them have, all the Abrahamic, I should say, which was established by the Elohim, started that, okay, as a gaslighting tool, as a way of, you know, controlling us with fear, right? And all of these things, as you know, right? And yeah, they started all of this, okay? And so now I lost my train of thought, which is weird. It just left me. But yeah, they started all of this, and I'm going to go into a different video more about the Elohim, and what's going on with them today, okay? But yeah, they started all of this, okay, to keep us in line, to keep us, to control us, keep us in line, and so that we would keep doing their bidding. So back in the day, when we first started, when they first created us, they wanted us to breed, make more, fulfill. That's what the Catholic Church is all about. Have babies, lots of babies. They need the babies because they need more slaves, okay? They need more whatever. Again, we're going to go into that in a different video. But yeah, but now we've come to a point where I think we've done a pretty good job. Okay, I think there's enough of us here now. So now the things are changing, and hence is why things are changing a little bit. Okay, and so of course, all that's what I was going to say. All of those Abrahamic religions, they all believe in the devil. You have to have a good cop and the bad cop, right? That's how it works. Even cops do that. Okay, you have to have a good, so that this is how they manipulate us. This is how they hurt us and control us. Okay, with fear of hell that doesn't exist. There is no hell. Okay, and fear of the devil. Now, unfortunately, most of these Christians use that as an excuse. Oh, the devil made me do it. I cheated on my wife. Oh, it was the devil that made me do that. Oh, I cheated on my taxes. Oh, the devil, they made me do that as well. Right. So that's a cop out. And, people use it, whether they're aware of it or not, religious reasons or not, you know what I mean? So it's just, the gig is up. Is all I got to say. The gig is up. I think most of us now know that religions are all made up by the Elohim or the Anunnaki, which depending on how far you've come in this, okay, your understanding of all this, okay. I'm a truth seeker. I'm still seeking the truth. I'm trying to figure out what happened to us, where we come from. And then once we figure that out, we can figure out where we're going and how to better navigate that, right? So that's kind of what I'm all about. So I'm definitely not a Satanist. I'm not a Sethian. I'm not any of those. I don't actually even work with Satan. Now, like I said earlier, I do believe there is a being, an egregore now named Satan. 2,000 years for Christianity. I'm not sure about all the other religions, but around there, actually, the Jewish religion is what, 6,000 or 3,000? I'm not even sure now. Maybe it's only 3,000 years. So that's how old all these religions are. 3,000 years old. That's it. It's a blip in our existence here, guys. Okay, it is a new kid on the block. Okay, and it's all man-made up. Christianity was basically made up in the Council of Nicaea with Constantine. Look that up if you need to. Okay, and at the time, we didn't know any better. We didn't know how to read and write. We definitely weren't allowed to read the Bible. It was all translated, and it was all done by belief and having faith. Well, nowadays, we are a lot more educated. We know how to read and write. We got the internet, and I think I can kind of speak for most of us that I think we know the gig is up. We know what they have been doing, what they are doing, and what they are planning on doing. Okay, the gig is up, guys. So this is my passion. This is where I'm going. I want to try and find out more about the Elohim. That's kind of my study right now, and figure out who these beings are, who is in charge, what are their actual names. Because most of these deities that we know nowadays, those are not the names. Those are a title. Just like Satan is a title, it's an adversary. Belial, Azazel, you name it. You name all of them. It's not their name. Okay? Because once you know the name, you can control. So they don't want that. Okay? So they're all titles. Okay? So trying to figure out, who's who and what's what. That's my mission. And I hope you guys are coming along for the journey with me. Okay. And if you have any questions or you have any input, maybe I've missed some things, drop it down in the comment section, guys. I'd love to hear back from you guys. Okay. And if my content is resonating, make sure you hit that like button right now, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and then follow me on all the social media. All that stuff, links, all that good stuff is in the description down below, guys. Okay. And yeah, stick with me, okay, because I am on a journey to try and figure out, like I said, where we come from, who's our daddy, who's our sky daddy, really, right? We know a little bits and pieces. I'm just trying to put the pieces together so that we can have a better understanding, be a little bit more educated, and move forward from there. You know what I mean? We can't really make informed decisions unless we have the truth, as far as I'm concerned. So that's my mission. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one, guys. So make sure that you are liking, sharing, and subscribing if you haven't. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And for a follow-up, I will do another follow-up video on this, okay, about the Elohim, my understanding of what's going on, what has been going on. Okay, so stay tuned for that, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.